discretion is advised.
Russian doctor murders, dismembers, and cooks trans woman after realizing she was a man. A Russian doctor has confessed to murdering and dismembering a woman he dated when he discovered she had undergone sex change surgery. The medic, Mikhail Tikhonov, 27, cooked some of her body parts in her oven and flushed the remains down the toilet, he told police. He had been on a night out with Nina Surgutskaya, 25, in Kirks before going back to her flat, he said. The pair were having sex when he realized that she was transsexual and had undergone surgery. He immediately strangled her on the bed and then, to hide the murder, dismembered her corpse, he told police interrogators. Tikhonov was detained and questioned after Nina went missing and her mother called in police to investigate. The police report into the incident said Nina had invited him to her flat. They continued to drink alcohol and began to have sex. He noticed his partner had previously been a man. She tried to continue the sex, but at that moment he grabbed her by the neck and squeezed tight, said the police source. He stopped only when she had no more signs of life. Tikhonov then decided to get rid of the body and took the corpse to the bathroom, where he cut out her internal organs and chopped them into small pieces, which he flushed down the toilet. He then carved off the woman's flesh, which he put into the oven, roasting them to evaporate excess liquid. The man denied he was a cannibal and told police he had flushed the cooked human meat down the toilet. He then put the head and limbs into a suitcase and took them to his flat, according to the crime report. Using a rasp, he sawed off limbs and ribs and threw them into rubbish bins. At this point, police came to detain him. They found the macabre site of the head still attached to the spine, which he had covered in salt to get rid of the smell. He had no time to get rid of these body parts as he was caught, according to one report. Tikhonov, who was trained as a doctor, faces up to 20 years in jail if convicted of murder and mutilating the corpse. Mom drowns her babies because their organs were worth a lot of money. A mom is accused of killing her 2 young children because their organs were worth a lot of money. Amanda Sharp Jefferson has been charged with murder after 1-year-old Rose Singleton and her 2-month-old sister Lily were found dead at their home in Las Vegas. Their distraught father, Jaquan Singleton, made the grim discovery when he came home on Friday and called the police. On a recording of the call, he can be heard asking Sharp Jefferson, 26, "What did you do?" He says, "What?" followed by a brief silence, and then, "She drowned them." Officers rushed to the home and discovered the girls stacked on top of each other in a baby swing in the living room. The children were pronounced dead at the scene, but their cause of death is currently unknown. According to a police report, Sharp Jefferson made comments about how much their organs were worth. She allegedly told police she had seen a movie where people made money on body parts after a person died. Sharp Jefferson claims she found the children, who appeared dead, in the living room after waking up at 10 a.m. Rather than calling for help, she took a shower, telling officers she likes showers. She then claims she may have been set up by someone, the report says. The grieving dad, who began a relationship with Sharp Jefferson back in 2018, said she had begun acting erratically around a fortnight before the alleged incident. She allegedly began talking about the altar spirit world and accused him of cheating on her with his altar spirit wife, KLAS reports. In an interview with the police, the father told officers he was last at the apartment around 7:30 p.m. the night before and that everything seemed fine. Sharp Jefferson was arrested on Friday and charged with 2 counts of open murder. Police say she denied taking drugs or alcohol, but said some marijuana may be found inside the apartment. Sharp Jefferson appeared in court on Tuesday, where a preliminary hearing was scheduled for November 24th. Woman bites off burglar's penis after he makes sick demands. A woman in Ghana who bit off a man's penis during an armed robbery has spoken out about the bizarre incident. Justina Donker, 24, was allegedly being robbed by a man when he demanded that she carried out a sex act on him. Justina hit back and managed to bite off her attacker's penis. Local news site ghgossip.com reports the 23-year-old armed robber saw his manhood vanish when she was able to sink her teeth into it. Not satisfied with just robbing the woman, he then dropped his trousers and underwear and demanded she carry out the sex act. But far from garnering some sort of sexual satisfaction, the woman instead took the opportunity to clamp down on his member and pretty much sever it, police told the news site. They said police have named the hapless man as Emmanuel Akron. He is reported to have entered the room of a 24-year-old student at a Bombay news site, a suburb of Obuasi, and drugged and had sex with her. The woman told investigators she woke up to find the suspect with a cutlass and a pistol aimed at her. He was stealing cash, a television, and her mobile phone. The news site reports Akron then demanded she carry out the sex act, and out of fear, she did, but then bit off his penis in the process. The cut penis has been retrieved by the police and sent to the hospital for preservation and possible reattachment. Man walks and talks as if nothing happened after machete is buried in his head. Convicted armed robber Pedro Ferreira survived his gruesome ordeal after surgeons in Brazil removed the huge knife from his skull. This is the astonishing moment a man was seen walking calmly into a hospital with a machete embedded in his head. Convicted armed robber Pedro Ferreira casually sat down and explained to medical staff he thought he had been stabbed. Amazingly, he survived his gruesome ordeal and reportedly suffered no long-term complications after surgeons at Restoration Hospital in Recife, Brazil, removed the huge blade during a delicate 5-hour operation. The 34-year-old was transferred from the city hospital to a prison ward where his health remained stable, and he has since been discharged and returned to his cell. The convicted criminal, who was jailed in 2004, was involved in a fight last month with another inmate at the Professor Barreto Campello High Security Prison in Itamaracá Island, according to local media. Although he identified his attacker as 27-year-old Antonio da Silva, Ferreira refused to disclose the reason behind the assault. He said to police, "I was told to go to Antonio's cell by another inmate. When I got there, I was stabbed in the head with the knife."
Mandar para a delegacia. Irmão Berg do Imbura. Eu sei que é Irmão Berg. Do palatório. Quem foi que cravou a faca? Quem foi?
A grim image shows the weapon plunged into the right side of his skull, inches away from his temple and eye socket. The blade, which is almost at a right angle to his head, slices through a black trilby which has been pulled further up the knife to reveal the sickening injury. Blood dripping down the side of his face has already soaked the front of his t-shirt and smeared his flip-flops and feet. Doctors expressed astonishment that the patient was conscious, capable of responding lucidly to questions, able to move around and to walk. While sitting on a hospital bed, an officer is heard asking the wounded convict who inflicted the injury. Without hesitation, the victim responds with a brief explanation of how he was lured to his assailant's cell, then attacked. Doctors reported that the wound is healed and there are no concerns about his health.
Mandar para a delegacia. Irmão Berg do Imbura. Eu sei que é Irmão Berg. Do palatório. Quem foi que cravou a faca? Quem foi? Buraco, ele mandou buraco.